Hey guys, if you've ever wondered about Quince Cashmere, specifically, is it worth it? Will it last? And especially how it might compare to similar sweaters by Jenni Kayne, Reformation, or Everlane, this is for you. I have been evaluating cashmere sweaters, like hundreds and hundreds of sweaters, for the last 5 to 10 years. In fact, the last about 5 years, I've been publishing like a guide, a yearly guide to the best cashmere. In short, like I feel like I know by now a good cashmere sweater, but we'll link to the 2025 guide. There are some things that are the same. Quince has been on my radar for years, and this year is the first time I've kind of been wowed. I haven't been wowed across the board, and there are a few sweater comparisons that I think you guys need to know about, because there are some cases where the original is still the best, but there are a few cases where Quince wins. So let's get into it. So to start, this is Quince's structured cardigan sweater. It's $159, which is actually really expensive for Quince, but is amazing for a cashmere sweater. If you're looking for like a really crisp sweater to wear to the office or Zoom calls, this is freaking it. It is so thick, so soft, has great structure. It like just tightens everything up. It looks so professional. Personally love it with like slouchier trousers or baggy jeans because it does kind of nip in at the waist. And the other detail I want to point out, the thing that I think makes it look like a much more luxurious designer-y type sweater, is the fact that the buttons are the same color as the sweater. So many brands go wrong with affordable cashmere where they put like those white buttons or like contrasting buttons, and I just think it, you know, really takes away from the overall look. So this was like definitely a nice feature. So I recommend this. So the next sweater I think is worth taking a quick peek is Quince's Shrunken cable knit sweater. This thing is almost sold out in this color. In fact, there's only like a charcoal gray left, and I think it's showing low stock. But for 90 bucks, it's like $89. It has like a really cute shape. It is ridiculously soft. There is not 1 ounce of scratchiness. It's just like a really cute, useful little sweater. So if you can get your hands on it, I highly recommend. I omitted most of Quince's like what I'll call like boring cashmere sweaters, like the cashmere sweaters that are like really that like lightweight knit, and they're fitted and they're boring. But the one I did include is Quince's Cashmere Little Tee. If you are in the market for a cashmere tee, and they are very useful in so many situations, Quince's is fine. I like the fact that the sleeves didn't band too tight around my arm. They had like a nice loose drape. The shape is great, it tucks, it can be worn out. The only thing I will say is if you are interested in a cashmere tee, I would 100% size up, 1 if not 2 sizes. This cashmere sweater is literally $45, so totally worth it. Quince's Oversized Mongolian Crewneck sweater is one of my all-time favorite sweaters that Quince has ever made. It is freaking fantastic. It is super similar, however, to Reformation's Cove sweater, which is another one of my favorites. A couple things that are really important to understand about the differences is Reformation's Cove sweater is orders of magnitude thicker than Quince's. Like, there is no comparison. It is thicker, it is softer, it is warmer. It is also made from 95% recycled cashmere, which is something that I really appreciate. And so that sustainability piece is part of what you're paying for in the $300 plus price tag. Quince's Mongolian Oversized cashmere sweater has a similar shape. It's not as thick. The collar is not as like refined, but it's still a really great sweater, and it also comes in a slightly wider range of colors, including black. While this Quince sweater, like I said, is not nearly as thick as Reformation's, it is still a really thick cashmere sweater. If you've been disappointed by like cashmere from brands like J. Crew or Banana, this is not that kind of cashmere. This is not a lightweight cashmere. It is still super thick. It is so soft. There's not an ounce of itchiness in the sweater. The other thing I appreciate is that for this sweater specifically, sometimes the lower cost cashmere brands go awry when you're talking about colors. Like, they tend to do like the dark neutrals really well, but when you start getting into the like oatmeals, usually theirs are like, the ivory is like a little too bright and stark, and the oatmeal is a little bit less interesting. But if you look closely, Quince's oatmeal has a lot of different varying tones. Like, there's ivories in here, there's some browns, there's some tans. Like, it's a really beautiful color. And when you consider that the sweater is only 120 bucks, like, that's actually pretty insane. One other key difference between Reformation's sweater and Quince's sweater is I have a sneaking suspicion that the cashmere fibers themselves in the Reformation sweater are longer. And the reason you care is because the length of the cashmere yarn is what determines how fast the sweater pills. I have had this Reformation cashmere sweater for about a year now, and as you can see, there's almost no pilling. Compare that to the Quince black cashmere sweater that I admittedly have worn the crap out of, but I did only buy it a few months ago and it's already starting to pill. Expect your Quince cashmere to pill faster, and honestly all cashmere sweaters pill eventually, which is why you just get a nice little sweater shaver and take care of that. Okay, next up we have Quince's Oversized V-neck sweater. And so look, this is a very similar sweater to Reformation. Reformation has almost the exact same sweater. Once again, the Reformation sweater is, by all measurements, better, right? It's thicker, it's softer, 95% recycled cashmere yarn. But I found that this particular shape, like the big oversized V and the huge slouchy shape, was just like, it's a little more trendy, and I ended up not wearing it as often as I thought I was going to. And so if you wanna test out a V-neck sweater, I actually think in this situation, the Quince is the better bet. All right, let's talk about Quince's Cashmere Boxy Crewneck. And so I've been a long time fan of Everlane's cropped boxy cashmere crew. And Everlane's is great. It has the shape nailed. I like how the shoulders fall, the sleeves are long enough. I was wondering if Quince's was similar, and so here there's a few differences. You could probably take your true size in this sweater. The difference here is the Quince one is a little bit longer. It doesn't have that same sort of more obviously cropped shape that the Everlane sweater does. Quince sweater also has a little bit of a roll neck detail on the collar and the cuffs, which I really appreciated, as well as a little vent on the hem. And the biggest upgrade is that this sweater is actually softer than Everlane's. The Everlane sweater does get softer with wear and after washing, but right out of the box, the Quince sweater is definitely softer and does have some more luxe details. That said, I still prefer the overall shape of the Everlane sweater. So, all right, let's talk about Quince versus Jenni Kayne. We get this question all the freaking time, and yeah, we gotta dive into this one a little bit because this is where it gets a little complicated. All right, let's start with the Fisherman sweaters. So the Quince Fisherman sweater is $99, and the Jenni Kayne Fisherman sweater is $425, which is a ridiculously big price difference, especially considering if you just kind of hold them up, can you guys even tell which is which? Right? There are some key differences though that I think are really important to talk through. The Jenni Kayne cashmere sweater uses a ridiculously long cashmere yarn, which is why this sweater will last longer and resist pilling for longer than the Quince Fisherman sweater. In addition, we kind of found that overall, this Fisherman sweater is a tiny bit longer, it has much better drape, and I made my photographer try it on too because we were kind of looking at the differences, and her quote was that it waterfalls all over your body in a way that looks more luxe. And that is true. If you look really closely at the knit itself, the actual stitch, the Quince sweater has a smaller, tighter stitch, but the Jenni Kayne stitch itself, it's more balanced, it's a little tiny bit bigger, and it has movement. You can tell a difference around the collar, the neck. The Jenni Kayne one just looks a little bit more refined. The only other thing I want to point out that is really hard to see in photos and video, if you are a hardcore navy girl, the Jenni Kayne navy is a little bit deeper and richer, where the Quince navy is a skosh more to a blue. That said, the Quince sweater is still super soft. It still does drape. I mean, this is Fisherman cashmere sweater we're talking about. They're both Mongolian cashmere. And so you just have to decide if that $300 price difference is worth it. But if you are looking for truly a forever sweater, Jenni Kayne is still gonna win. So the last one I want to talk about is the Quince Boxy Fisherman cropped cardigan versus the equivalent at Jenni Kayne. I actually think there's kind of a big difference between the Jenni Kayne cropped boxy cardigan and the Quince one. In addition to the cashmere fibers that we talked about and the stitch itself of the Fisherman sweaters, that is still true for the cardigan version. The Quince cardigan itself has totally different lines. The Jenni Kayne has much more intentional lines. The way it hangs on the body, the V neckline, everything about the Jenni Kayne is just a much better design. That is only exacerbated if you have a larger chest. Just the way they lay and the way they move, there is a dramatic difference in my mind between the Jenni Kayne cardigan and the Quince cardigan. It's not that I wouldn't recommend the Quince cardigan because the price point is also a huge consideration. The Jenni Kayne cardigan is $475, you guys, and the Quince one is literally $119. If you're looking for a forever cashmere sweater, I'd probably skip the Quince Cashmere cardigan. That's it. Leave us any questions in the comments below. At this point, I've tried on basically all of Quince Cashmere, as well as like tons of Jenni Kayne, tons of Everlane, tons of Reformation, tons of Aritzia, tons of J. Crew. I've tried on so many freaking cashmere sweaters. If you have comments or questions about any of them, let me know. We'll drop links to both last year and this year's cashmere guide. And yeah, thanks for watching. See ya.